Hello, my beautiful Facebook friends. So today, as promised, we are going to do a live, have I got my microphone on? Yes, a live with sound, emotional release, emotional clearing. So the first thing you're going to do is, I'm Lisa Turner from Psycademy, in case you don't know. So I'm just going to give people a moment to join me. And here's the thing, if you're listening on the replay, yes, you can still do this. And what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to think about something that you want but don't have. And I'm going to give you an exercise in a moment, but I want you to just think about something that you want but that you don't have. Now, the ideal, and one of the things we said that we'd offer was, so those of you who don't know, we're running a live event in just over a week's time. It's called How to Be a Six-Figure Psychic and Spiritual Leader. So this is for people who are, this is for people who want to be coaches, practitioners, therapists, healers, or who already are, or who just want to develop their psychic abilities to another level so that you can lead yourself, so that you can awaken spiritually yourself, or spiritually awaken yourself, however you want to say it. So the event's 3rd to the 5th of November in Windsor. It's going to be amazing. We're going to do a full emotional release. So that's why I wanted to give you, this is like a little sampling. And the reason we're doing this is we've had a lot of people who said, I would love to come, but I can't because. And it's because I don't have the money. I can't get the time off. I don't know if my husband's going to let me. I've got to look after the dog. Or, so it's like they want to be there, but there's something that stops them. So what we're going to do, hi, Audrey. What we're going to do is we are going to take you through a process which will release blocks that are stopping you having what you want. So the first thing to do is to think about something that you want but don't have. So question from Audrey, could you just think about good health, or do you have to be specific? The more specific you are, the better. And it's to do, now in the ideal and what we'll do at the live event. So first of all, let me talk you through like what is an emotion and what we're going to do at the live event. So that will, because we're going to explain the process, which will help you understand what we're going to be doing in just a minute. The actual emotional release will only take a little while, take, 2 minutes tops. But you need to understand what we're going to do, what we together are going to do, so that you can follow the instructions. So a lot of it is in the setup. So an emotion, so the ideal is that your neurology has all these gazillions of pathways where, information will flow. But at some point you had something happened, and as a result, now it's not the event that's the problem, it's how you experience the event. So in the moment of experiencing the event, you go, oh, that's a bad thing. Oh, that's bad. That's a bad thing. And you might have even said, I'm a bad person because this bad thing happened to me. Do you get where I'm going here? Right. So as soon as you have that, you get a block. That sets up a wall or a barrier in your neurology. That information, it's trying to flow and it can't. It hits it and it goes, Urgh. Now what you feel is the bounce back. It's like, oh, information trying to flow. Ow. Right. Ow. All right. So that's what you feel is emotional pain. So what we do is we don't actually release the emotion. We release the block. So the emotion, the energy just flows. Because the idea is like, the ideal is, and we get conditioned out of this, the ideal is that stuff happens and we go, oh, wow, that was an experience. Didn't much like that. Don't think I'll do that again. Or, oh, that was, something else might happen. You go, oh, that was a nice experience. Let's do that again. But the problem is when we have an experience and we label it as bad, and it is a label, like nothing is intrinsically good or bad other than we label it as stuff. Now, I know that's controversial. And people are going, well, what about murder? And it's like, well, what about euthanasia when people ask you to kill them? And, there's lots of spiritual teachings that suggest actually, and because regardless of whether or not you believe this, here's my invitation. Try it. Experiment with it, okay? Just experiment with this as a process. So what I'd love you to do is start to write, if you possibly can, to write down in the little comments box there, the thing that you want, that you don't feel you can have. Now, if it's coming to the event, yay. If it's something else, that's great. Now, here's the thing about coming to the event, right? I don't care whether you're at the event or not. Well, I do. I know that the perfect people, I know. See, the way this event is set up is it's set up to attract energetically those people who are spiritual leaders, who are self-selecting to step up, to assist the awakening of the planet. So those of you, I know some of you already joined and registered for the event. Those of you who are there, you've already stepped up. You're self-selecting to assist the awakening of the planet. And those who, there are some of you who I know you're self-selecting, and there's this, and you need to be there. You want to be there. You need to be there. Now, there are some who they just, like they think they want to be there, but they're not really willing to do what it takes, or they're not really self-selecting. And I know that they won't be in the room. I just know that. I just know that they won't be in the room. But I do know that, and here's how I work. Like, I don't care whether you come to the event or not, because I know the right people will be in the room. What I do care passionately about is you thinking bigger than you do right now. You being able to experience the kind of experiences that you want to experience. You being able to express your divinity source in the physical body through you. That's what I care passionately about. And if these blocks are stopping you doing that, then I want to get them the hell out of the way. I want us to get them the hell out of the way. So lots of people joining. Hi, Tammy, Mike, other people, lots of people on. Whoa, okay, so to go back, those of you who missed the beginning, come on time next time. No, I'm only joking. Well, it can help. But what we're doing is we're going to be doing an emotional release process in a minute, and we're going to release any resistance that is stopping you from having something you want. So the first thing is that the ideal is if you really work with metaphysics. So if you work with metaphysics, and those of you know about this, is that you can have anything you want. Well, actually, you can never have what you want because of the word want. You can have anything you choose. You can create any experience you choose, but what stops you is your belief that you don't have it now, or your belief that it's not possible, or you don't deserve it, or something. So there's this, right? And when we say the word want, I want, what we're actually setting up in the universe is the experience of not having it. Because the only way you can say I want something is to presupposes you don't have it. Now, it might be that it's totally possible, but you've just got to get it. Like I might say, I want a drink. There's my drink. I could have a drink. Or it might be, like I want, I don't know. So you might be saying, I want to come to the event, but, right? So we're going to get rid of the but. So the first thing is to notice this. So as you think about wanting something that you feel you can't have. So pick something that you want that you feel you can't have. So it would be lovely, lovely, lovely if you post that in the question box. So I'm going to type that as a comment. Think of something you want but don't feel you can have. Post that, right? That's what you need to post. While you're doing that, I'm going to share with you just some thoughts about releasing emotions first, okay? So first of all, okay, so Tammy, more money, that could be 1p. If you had 1 penny, that effectively, so pick a specific amount. And money is actually not that great because it's too abstract. That's one of the reasons you don't have more money, is you've probably been saying more money and you've been getting more money all your life. So actually you don't really want money. Money is useless. You can't eat it. You can only exchange it for food. So think about the thing you can't use it to come to the event. You can only exchange it for an event ticket. Think about the thing that you actually want. Now, if that's the price for the ticket and your expenses paid to be there, pick that and then say, so that I want £500 for the ticket, I don't know, £100 a night for my hotel and food and whatever, and my traveling or whatever, it might be £1,000 or £976 and 23p. Put that in and say, so that. Audrey, you've put no more CFS. Now that's chronic fatigue syndrome. So here's the thing. If you say not, like here's, you know this, come on guys, don't think of a pink elephant. Definitely don't think of that big pink elephant that's probably got fur and big flappy ears. Are you thinking of the pink elephant? So if you say no more chronic fatigue syndrome, you are actually saying more chronic fatigue syndrome. That's what you're saying. So what do you actually want? What do you actually want, Audrey? Say it as you want it. Oh, I'm loving this. I'm loving this. This is why you don't get it, by the way, guys. So think of something that you want but don't feel that you can have, okay? Right, so label it in the positive. While you're doing that, I'm going to just share with you just some signs that you have suppressed emotions. And so first of all, signs that you have emotions. So first of all, you can feel them, okay? Right, Tammy, you've put PTSD to release, so be it. Now, these are big things. This is not, so let me explain how this works. So one of the ways that you release a problem is you get to the root cause. So the problem isn't PTSD. The problem isn't chronic fatigue syndrome. The problem is those are actually symptoms of something else. So post-traumatic stress disorder is normally that you had an experience that you couldn't attribute some positive meaning to, and as a result, it set up a whole plethora of negative emotions that trigger and fire every time you experience a similar situation. What you need to do is you need to find the cause for that. Now, that's beyond this event, that's beyond this Facebook Live, guys. I'm going to be really, really clear. That is either for a one-to-one, or we'll probably be able to get pretty close in the live event. If you're wanting these big things, you need to get your ass to that event. I'm sorry, that's just, you know what, I'd love it if I could just go ting and I'm your magic fairy and it's all perfect. But we live in the real world. It's like, it's a bit like going to the mechanic and saying, I'd like the noise that it's making to stop, right? And the mechanic says, that's perfect, just turn the radio up, right? And you might think, well, it's problem solved. That's actually how a lot of healing modalities, by the way, kind of work. They put earphones on and play nice music at you, like the equivalent of. But guess what? The car is still broken. The noise is still, the cause of the noise is still there. So if we released chronic fatigue syndrome, the chances are that there's a cause, there's a reason you're having that. And the chances are that the reason you had that needs to be identified, and the chances are you just get something else. It would just pop out somewhere else. So to release the virus within me, that's not an emotion. That's not an emotion, darling. So as you think about having that virus, to release the virus, somebody's banging. That's not helpful. You're going to need to find the cause there. So health issues. So we can do a specific thing for health issues. And typically we'd need to find the cause. But what I'm going to suggest you do is pick something that you want. Like Audrey, pick coming to the event. The coming to the event being possible and easy. Or, getting access to the full higher self therapy and working with a coach. So that you could actually find, because the reason that virus is there, and it's this is really interesting, right? So when we experience physiological illness, the reason it's not that we've been exposed to a virus. So that, like, if you go on the underground in London, there's probably thousands of cold virus germs or cold viruses hitting you all the time. And if it was a virus that caused a cold, every time you walked past someone with a cold, you would get a cold, right? So why don't you? Because it happens when your immune system is suppressed. So the problem isn't the virus. There's a pre-immune system that actually stops the virus even getting into your cell. Now that pre-immune system gets suppressed because of negative emotions. And that's what we need to find and release, okay? Not the virus. The virus isn't the problem. The virus can go ahead being a virus. The virus is a problem because your pre-immune system, I don't know if I've got the right technical term, but like the pre-immune system hasn't worked because the immune system is suppressed. So why that's suppressed? And it gets suppressed because of negative emotions. Chronic fatigue syndrome is a couple of reasons for that. If it's accompanied with fibromyalgia, it's often because there's a fixed mindset. And it's also because you've got a ton of, these blocks I talked about. You've got loads of them. And so what happens is you get a lot of blocks in the neurology. Oh, I've gone out of focus. There I am. You get a lot of blocks in the neurology, and that causes the neurology to kind of lock up. So you start thinking the same thought, and the same thought kind of bounces around and bounces around and bounces around because it can't go anywhere because there's so many blocks. That's kind of caused the neurology to become more and more rigid. It's a bit like a jelly setting, I think of it. It's like the ideal is that your thoughts would be liquid and would flow around. And as you get one block, it's like gets a little bit harder for the energy to flow, and another one and another one. And eventually it becomes like basically it's almost a solid. So the reason the problem isn't chronic fatigue syndrome. There's a reason that you created that. And that will be usually because of some emotional event, and we need to find what that was, or rather what you installed as a belief system that had you have that. Now, what I'm going to suggest is, let's make it simple. Think of something that you want but don't feel that you can have, that's like really, that's relatively achievable. Oh, I'm getting lots of likes. It's good, right? So stress caused it, yeah. Now, here's the thing about stress. Okay, right, back out, right? Why is it? So if stress caused it, then everyone who had a stressful experience would get chronic fatigue syndrome. I've got stress, I get chronic fatigue, right? But that doesn't happen. We know that there are people who manage huge amounts of stress and they don't get sick. And there are people who, like in terms of the amount of stress that's going on in their life, they just cope with it. And the reason, you see, it's not stress. So stress is external events that you feel you can't cope with. And the reason you feel stressed is because of that locking up of your neurology that I talked about. Yeah. It's like somebody who's got a flexible neurology, something will happen and they'll go, woo, woo, and they'll bounce back. Yeah. Somebody who's got a fixed neurology, something will happen, they'll go, boom, stress, versus, whoo, that was fun. Whoo, roller coaster, that was fun. Do you get the difference? So it's not the stress, which is like, that's like a bunch of external events and you responding to them in a non-resourceful way. It's having the resources and the internal resources. And what gets you the internal resources are that flexible neurology. Woo, so it's all flexy. So, again, we are not going to be able to manifest you a home on this. A home, a house again. I get that. So what I'm going to suggest is pick something that's like, that you can, like, let's make it, like, we could do a home, but we'd need to work together for like a whole karmic alignment. There's like, that's a big karmic alignment. We'd need to find the root cause. There's a lot of energy we'd need to release. So think of something. Now, I'm going to pick for you guys. Let's say you want to come to the event. Like, why wouldn't you? You get to have a higher self come into your body. You get to experience full emotional release of all your negative emotions. We find that root cause. We work together to find that. You're going to experience me channeling live, which is even if I say so myself or my clients say, is amazing. Like, you get to experience, you get to dialogue with my guides, and you get lunch. Right? Who wouldn't want that, right? And a whole yeah. So again, Audrey. So think of something. Audrey, I'm going to give you this instruction one more time. Think of something you want, right? So you put here, stress from being bullied all my life. We can't release that because it's not the bullying that's the problem, my darling. And bullying is horrible. And, like, the thing is, one person's bullying is another person's being assertive, right? They're just telling me what they want. And one person's meanness is just that's how, that's just them. The problem isn't the bullying, it's what you decided that it meant. And we would need to find that. So here's the instruction. Think of something you want that is like under £1,000, right? That you don't feel you can have at this time. So think of something that you want, and I want you to type that in. Something that you want that you don't feel that you can have. So those of you, and I know there are people who are watching this and they're not typing, think about wanting to come to the event. So you want to come to the event? Where is it? In my screen, there it is. But you don't feel it's possible. Okay, so you want something and you don't feel you can have it. Okay, so think about that. And as you think about wanting something that you can't have, yeah, so you think about wanting something you can't have, that doesn't feel possible, notice the emotion. Notice that will create an emotion. So think whether it's a holiday, or I don't know, getting your car fixed, getting a new kitchen, then it's probably £1,000, probably a bit more than that. Depends how good your kitchen you want. Think about, some new clothes. Think about something that you want. So let's just say it's the event, because that was the reason we did this, right? So you want to come to the event, but it doesn't feel possible. That's it. Oh, who's resisting? Who's resisting? Someone's resisting. I always feel it. Okay, so here's how higher self therapy works. You find an emotion, okay, feel it, and then we ask this question. So we've got something that you want that you don't feel you can have, and then I ask you to notice as you think about something that you want that you can't, doesn't feel like you can have it, notice the emotion, notice how you feel, that feels, And then what we do is we say, and you need to get a yes, and you need to type that yes in the box, right? And it's not just a random yes, it's yes, I get, so we're just going to say yes to the release, or yes, it's okay to release this. So the question is it totally okay with your conscious mind, your unconscious mind, and your higher self for you to release this resistance, this block, this emotion here today, and for you to be aware of it consciously? So you need to say yes, release, or yes to the release. Otherwise it just doesn't work. As soon as you get the yes to the release, by the way, those of you who are getting a, oh, I'm not sure, and particularly if you've picked a health issue to work on, we nearly always get a no at this point. And the reason is because we haven't found the root cause of the health problem. Okay? Audrey's come to the next event. Awesome. I like you, Audrey. You're my friend. You were always my friend. I always liked you. I just want you to get the release. Okay. So you think about that and then put yes to the release. So is it totally okay with your conscious mind, unconscious mind, and higher self for you to release this here today? Now, this doesn't oblige you to do anything. This doesn't make you do anything. Okay, Tammy's saying yes. Yes, release. Audrey, yeah, I like it. Go to the Maldives. Why not? Why not? Yeah. And maybe, you know, some of you, I know you're thinking of bigger things. It's like maybe you want something for someone else. Now, that is still okay. Something you want to gift to someone else. That's still okay to pick. So, okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to start the release. I'm going to just explain how it works. So as I said, energy should flow. And if you've got a resistance in your neurology, it'll hit that, boom. And what you feel is that kind of the pain of the hitting. And what we're going to do is we're going to dissolve this. Now, when I say we, is what we're going to do is in a moment, I'm going to get my higher self to go to your higher self to release it. All you need to do is feel the emotion. You don't need to understand it. You don't need to analyze it. You don't need to know all the story behind it. That actually is one of the things that locks it in place. All you need to do is feel it. So, we're ready. That's it. So is it totally I'll just do a run through that one more time. So as you think about something you want that you don't feel that you can have, and as you think about wanting something that it doesn't feel possible for you to have, notice how that causes you to feel. Notice that you feel a negative emotion. Yeah. And that's the reason you don't have it, by the way, because there is that negative emotion. If that emotion was gone, you would be able to have it. It won't ping into your universe, but it would become immediately possible. Immediately possible. So you think about something you want that you can't have, feel the emotion of wanting something and not being able to have it. That's it. And then is it totally okay with your conscious mind, your unconscious mind, and your higher self for you to release this here today and for you to be aware of it consciously? Good. If you put a yes already, that's fine. If you haven't, you need to put yes to the release. Yes, I agree to the release. Good. Now, all we're going to do is I'm going to get my higher self to go to your higher self to release the emotion. And all you need to do is pay attention to it. So pay attention to all of the emotion right from that root cause, right from that first event, whenever it was that you first installed that block, whenever that block was first installed, just pay attention to all of that emotion and all of that feeling as my higher self goes to your higher self to release it. That's it. That's a little bit of huna, just to let that, yeah. Thank you for all the yeses. So just keep paying attention to that, knowing that you don't need to understand it. You don't need to analyze it. You don't even need to try and make it go away. You just need to feel it. That's it. As my higher self goes to your higher self to release it. And what do you need to know or learn, the knowing or learning of which will allow you to easily and effortlessly let go of all of the emotion. The learnings will always be positive and about you and for the future. So just notice what the learnings are. And if you get what the learnings are and you want to share, then that would be lovely. And if you get what the learnings are and you want to share, that will really help not only you, but me to help you with the release, because I'll know that you've got the learnings. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. Very good. Very good. So just keep paying attention to that. It's my higher self, keeps going to your higher self to release it now. Whew, that's it. Now, for some of you, that might feel like that's complete. And for some of you, it might not, in which case you need to scrub back and watch that again, because I'm going to set that up. And I'm just going to give myself a few moments just to set that up so that that release will work as a loop for as long as you guys need it. That's it. So that's just now set up so that that works. Awesome. Awesome. Good job. So it'd be lovely if you posted what your learnings were, the positive learnings. And then I'm just going to stay here just for a moment. I'm going to hang around just to answer any questions. You're welcome, Tammy. You're welcome. And if you want to open a healing business, the very best place for you to go to would be to join us at our live event. And I'll tell you why. So I'm just going to say, here's the link. Okay. I don't know if I can pin that. How do you pin that while I'm doing? Yeah, I think I can pin it. No, maybe I can't pin it. Right, so our live event is on, you're welcome, you're welcome. Is it Ain or Anya? I think it's Anya. I don't know if I've said that right. I apologize. Very good at mangling words. I apologize if that word was your name. So at the live event, if you're wanting to set up a healing business, this is the event is called How to Be a Six-Figure Psychic and Spiritual Leader. And those of you who are wanting to support yourself and other people around you, whether it's people just immediately people you bump into, or whether it's people that you know, then, you know, whether it's you want to be a real, you know, like a leader of a bigger group, there's no judgment. Anyone, even if you just awaken yourself, then that's, then this is the place for you. So we're going to give you some techniques for how to set up or grow your business, how to some really good business skills and like mindset stuff. We're going to blow all of your blocks out, particularly about money. Spiritual leaders need to step into their money power right now, and it's so, so important. Also, you're going to experience a higher self initiation, so where you bring your higher self into your physical body so that you can tap into that information, that connection to your holy guardian angel, your higher self at any time. And you're also going to be, we're going to be doing, we're going to be giving you some really good solid skills, like a way of reading the tarot that enables, it doesn't just give information, it actually enables people to solve problems and get clarity about their choices for the future. So it's really, really empowering. So if there are any questions, pop them in the question box, including if you're on the recording. Oh, I got a yes to your next event, Audrey. Make sure you contact the office, contact support@psycademy.co.uk. And we will tell you what we have coming up. We'll give you advance notice because we have something else. I'm not going to start talking about it yet. It is on our website if you want to go and rummage around there. And some people might, and some people might not do that. But yeah. Or maybe, do you mean our next event, the How to Be a Six-Figure Psychic? Because that would be cool if you could come to that one. That would be really cool if you wanted to. So, Audrey, you put grief from your heart. Is that what you released? Because that's really amazing. Well done. And I see lots of colors, felt hands pull out stuff up and out of the top of my head. That is not uncommon. That's a very common experience for people. So well done. So those of you who are coming to the event, yay. It's going to be amazing. And tomorrow I'm going to do another Facebook Live. And I am thinking... Awesome, Audrey, awesome. So here's what you do. You go click on the link and you go register. That's what you do. That's what you do. That's how you do that. What was it? Tomorrow's Facebook Live, what do you reckon to me doing a little bit of channeling, a little bit of invoking no one guide? You can answer questions. How would that be? How would that be? So you will need to ask questions in a very specific way, like in the right way, empowering questions. So I'll give those instructions to begin with. So till then, those of you who are coming to the event, it's going to be amazing. I am so, so excited about this. We've got some amazing people joining us in the room, people who have self-selected to be leading the awakening of the species. How awesome is that? How awesome is that? You guys, you are awesome. You guys for being here. You are awesome. And that is how I spell awesome as well. So till next time, till tomorrow, see how it feels. See if we do a little bit of channeling. See if I get any, I'll pop a little thing on the Facebook and my page and say, would you reckon just some live channeling from Lisa tomorrow? See what we get. See what happens. Okay, so getting some likes and loves to this. Maybe that's what we'll do. Okay, so till tomorrow, lots and lots of love to you. See you soon. Bye, everyone. Lots of love. Bye, everyone.